Archbishop Vigano, author of the testimony that shook the church to her foundations, has been on the run since August 22nd, 2018. Henry Sire, author of The Dictator Pope, reports that Vigano fears for his life, and that Vigano has activated what some are calling a dead man's switch, that, should Vigano die, will cause a series of documents to be released that incriminate the Vatican hierarchy, including Francis, in incredible crimes. Church Militant reports that the Vatican Intelligence Service, the Santa Alleanza, has been dispatched to locate Vigano, purportedly to serve him his canonical sanctions for his actions. Before I go any further, I want to make crystal clear one thing. I am not accusing the Vatican of planning to kill Archbishop Vigano. I would not be surprised at all if some in the upper echelons of the hierarchy in the Vatican plan to kill him if or when he is located. But I do not accuse Francis or the Cardinal Secretary of State of planning the assassination of Archbishop Vigano. That would be a sin against charity. I am here to only report the facts as they are known now, and to report on reasons why Vigano has every reason to be concerned for his safety. There is ample evidence that those who try to blow the whistle on crimes in the Vatican or in the American Church end up dead. That is itself a fact, and I'm going to show you two cases from the United States as proof in a moment. But first, the Church Militant report on Santa Alleanza reads as follows. The global hunt for Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano, currently underway by the Vatican Security Services, has renewed interest in the intelligence capabilities of the smallest yet oldest government on earth. While the intelligence resources of the Vatican City State cannot be said to be comparable in funding or cutting-edge technology of the CIA, GRU, or MSS, one would make a fatal mistake in underestimating the far reach, experience, and capabilities of what many experts and historians consider to be the world's most discreet but greatest intelligence service. The fabled Nazi hunter Simon Wiesenthal is quoted as having said in an interview that the best and most effective espionage service in the world belongs to the Vatican. It is for no small reason that Archbishop Vigano, the Vatican's most wanted man, is on the run and has gone into hiding. The true name of the Vatican's clandestine intelligence service is Santa Alleanza, or Holy Alliance, or La Entita, the entity, according to Alan Dulles, the first director of the CIA. With motto being Cum Cruce et Glitio, with cross and sword, it is said to have been created by Pope St. Pius V in 1566 in order to gather intelligence from the court of Elizabeth I and obtain her overthrow from power. This was long before the CIA even conceived of overthrowing governments. Some say the Vatican's counter-espionage section is the Solidatium Pianum of the turn of the last century that everyone thought had been disbanded. For one to focus, however, on official names and structures is to miss the forest for the trees when it comes to the Vatican's intelligence network. If Vigano is afraid for his life to the point where he has to destroy his cell phone and go into hiding overseas, it is not only out of fear of being tracked down by a staffer of the apostolic nunciatures and missions of the Holy See spread throughout the world, the long arm of the Secretariat of State that has ordered discovery of Vigano's whereabouts, but also, if not principally, out of dread for the intelligence capabilities of the Vatican City-State's paramilitary corps of gendarmes of the Vatican City-State, currently led by Domenico Gianni. Gianni is an ex-officer of Italy's notorious financial security services and serves in a number of roles in the Vatican security forces, including serving as Francis's lead bodyguard. The Vatican security forces partner with Interpol and other security services in Europe. It's understandable that this papacy wants Vigano brought into custody. But this is where it all gets weird. The greatest danger to the life of Vigano is said to arise from Freemasonic elements of the Santa Alleanza, or Entita, possessing absolutely no moral scruples, who will do everything in their power to prevent the Archbishop from making any additional disclosures, not only embarrassing to the Holy See, but even more, capable of destroying the reputations and concrete chances of certain cardinals from being elected to the throne of St. Peter. Outside of Italy, and even inside the country, it is not generally known to Catholics just how well inserted ideological Freemasons are into the intelligence services of the military apparatus of Italy and other European nations, and consequently the Vatican City State, which derives a number of its police, security, and intelligence forces from among those nations' ranks. While it is known that powerful groups of Freemasons, such as Propaganda 2, or P2, who in the past had successfully infiltrated Vatican institutions, such as the Institute for the Works of Religion, the Vatican Bank, have been disbanded by the Italian government, it is not known to many that successor groups of dangerous ideological Freemasons have succeeded in reconstituting themselves under different labels and taking control of key dicasteries of the Roman Curia. Vigano and his heroic whistleblowing pose more than a threat to him personally. They pose a very real and credible threat to entire networks of very talented individuals who will stop at nothing to destroy the Catholic Church as we know it from within, once and for all. The Vatican search for Vigano, therefore, is not so much a mission of the Santa Alleanza to accomplish that than an exercise of unholy powers to fulfill. Yes, this article is a bit provocative in its application of language, but there are ample reasons for Vigano to fear for his life. 2 cases come to mind. On Wednesday of this week, Church Militant reported an exclusive story on the likely murder of Father Joseph Marino in the Diocese of Buffalo, New York. The murder is related to the abuses committed by one Father Dennis Ryder, who is still active in the diocese. I'll let Michael Voris explain the basics. Voris calls what Ryder did a homosexual assault because, well, they were homosexual assaults. The full video is linked in the description. It's worth your time.
That homosexual assault happened in 1992, and the diocese went to great lengths to deny it happened, despite the presence of 2 witnesses who saw the immediate aftermath just moments later. One of those witnesses was a Polish seminarian, young fellow at the time, stationed at the parish, who Church Militant also interviewed last month, Wes Wallawender. Wes eventually went to a local priest, Father Joseph Moreno, who was Wes's spiritual director, and together the 2 composed a letter to the bishop, Edward Head, and auxiliary bishop Edward Grosz, detailing the disgusting facts of what he had seen, along with Anthony's father, who was the other witness in the aftermath. The letter, which was hand-delivered to the 2 bishops, was composed on Father Moreno's computer. Again, this was in 1992. Wes never heard anything from either bishop about the letter that he had submitted and was eventually railroaded out of the Buffalo Seminary. Father Joe, as a result, became increasingly cognizant of a clerical homosexual network in the diocese and began keeping informal records at first, which also detailed financial corruption, but nearly all of it connecting back to the homosexual clique. All of this has been confirmed by Church Militant with both family members as well as confidants of Father Joe's. Now, in 1995, Bishop Henry Mansell was made ordinary of Buffalo, and during his 8 years as ordinary, a gay seminarian pipeline from mostly Columbia was established, following the pattern of Chicago Cardinal Joseph Bernardine and then Archbishop of Newark, New Jersey, Theodore McCarrick. Church Militant interviewed some of the Columbian seminarians, not all who were homosexual, and they confirmed for us that it was indeed a major recruiting effort by Monsignor Joseph Gatto, vice rector of Buffalo's Christ the King Seminary under Henry Mansell. All of this was becoming well known among local clergy, including Father Joe Moreno, who confidants tell Church Militant now stepped up his efforts to document these issues and keep records. Things reached a head in 2012 when, after years of documenting and detailing the homosexual clerical network in his diocese, Father Moreno was found dead in the rectory of his parish, St. Lawrence in Buffalo, on Saturday afternoon, October 13th, 2012. Immediately, questions arose when his death was almost immediately ruled a suicide.
Moreno's death has a lot of bizarre qualities that almost certainly rule out suicide. You can watch the full Church Militant video by following the link in the description. All indications are that Father Moreno was murdered. This isn't the first time that an American priest had been murdered after attempting to go public about the homo heretic network in the church. The earliest case that I am aware of is the case of Father Alfred Kunz. In March of 1998, Father Alfred Kunz was found with his throat slashed on the morning of March 4th, 1988, in a hallway of St. Michael's School in the rural enclave of Dane, about 15 miles northwest of Madison. Father Kunz was known as a traditionalist Catholic priest. An article in Catholic World Report describes him as follows. Father Kunz was a sign of contradiction, a tradition-minded priest in the shadow of the liberal state capital. He was a 20th century fidei defensor, upholding Catholic teaching amid a sea of post-Vatican II modernism. He preached the truth, no matter how unpopular. A sharp critic of homosexual corruption of the church, he worked at the highest levels to expose priestly pederasty in rectories and chanceries. He saw the coming storm of sexual abuse allegations that would swamp the church years later and lead to more than $3.3 billion in victim settlements and attorney's fees in the United States alone. You will find no justice in the church today, he told a friend not long before his death. He worried that the pederasty scandals would destroy the diocesan priesthood. It was his activity in exposing homosexual predation in his diocese that has led to theories that his death was something more than attributable to the burglary that the official narrative describes. According to an article on Catholic.org, Father Kunz may have been murdered because he knew too much about the predator cult in the church. Father Kunz knew that there was a large network of homo heretics operating in the church with the purpose of destroying and remaking the church in their demonic image. He reportedly told a friend to never underestimate the power of this network. Recall that the Vatican desperately wants to avoid calling the current crisis a homosexual crisis. Despite the fact that over 80% of the assault cases targeted physically mature young men and seminarians, the hierarchy wants to label this a pedophilia problem. Archbishop Vigano knows far more about this problem than even his testimony reveals, and he appears to think that someone in the hierarchy will have him killed if they find him. In the aftermath of the release of Vigano's testimony, Monsignor Jean-François Lanthion publicly confirmed Vigano's claims. He also said the following: "My goal is not to reassure you, but to tell you the truth. Bishops are neither unscathed nor untouchable. They are all just as much sinners as are others. Let it be said once and for all, they do not enjoy papal infallibility. But of course, as soon as one tries to tell the truth, you have your head cut off, or you have a bad spirit. It's been over 20 years since I said what I had to say. Now believe what you want, but I can tell you as being the direct witness that Vigano is telling the truth. I was the direct witness. These may be the last lines that I write. If I am found chopped up by a chainsaw and my body sunk in concrete, the police and the hacks will say that we have to consider the hypothesis of suicide." Again, I'm not saying that Vigano has to fear Francis having him assassinated. I do definitely believe that there are figures in the church hierarchy who will without a doubt attempt to have Vigano killed in order to silence him. Keep Archbishop Vigano in your prayers, as well as Francis, and pray for the truth to emerge and God's justice to be swift. If you like videos like this, like and share this video and subscribe. I can be found on Twitter and Facebook with links in the description. For Return to Tradition, I'm Anthony Stein. Ave Maria.